Hello, everybody. How you doing? Welcome to the Sit and Run podcast. I'm your host, Michael Caceres, and this is my show. How's it going? This is the Sit and Run podcast for Thursday, March 30th, 2017. I would like to dedicate this podcast episode to my grandfather and my dad and my uncle. It is my dad and my uncle's birthday today. It is also the 1 year anniversary for my grandfather passing. My grandfather passed away a year ago on my uncle and my dad's birthday. And this is for you guys. This is for my grandpa and this is for my uncle. I'm going to try not to get emotional, but absolutely no promises on there. Yeah. So, how's everyone doing? Welcome to the podcast. Oh my goodness me. Let's not get emotional, please. Let's not get emotional yet. Let's see here. I am driving right now. So this is the Driving Sit and Run podcast. I am stuck in traffic right now on the 60 freeway. I am headed to work right now. Before this crazy traffic drive on this little Thursday afternoon, I went to church. There was a little mass service for my grandfather, and it was good. It was very nice. My grandmother is being extremely strong about everything, and I was really happy to see my whole family there to come out and support and celebrate the memory of my grandfather, who was really the greatest guy in the world, the greatest man in the world. Oh yeah, and just so you guys know, I tried doing a podcast, this podcast earlier in the day, and it just didn't work out because I started crying, and I'm definitely not going to do this podcast again. So if I start to break down, just bear with me. But it's a good day. It's crazy. My grandfather passed away on my dad's and my uncle's birthday. Yeah, it's a lot of great memories with my grandfather. A lot of great memories. My grandfather was just... He was funny, man. He was funny. Look, I believe in God, and I have a lot of faith, and I really truly believe that my grandfather is in heaven with God, and I think that he's watching all the Judge Judy and all the caso cerrado that he can, and I know that he's just enjoying life. Oh, my grandpa watched Judge Judy, Judge Joe Brown, and Casa Cerrado every single day, and it was very boring to me as a little kid. I remember like 8 or 9 years old, my grandfather would fall asleep while he was watching the television, and I promise you, I swear to God, I promise you that he was still watching the TV while he was asleep. It was the dumbest thing ever. He would be slowly starting to snooze off, and he kept the controller in his hand. So what's a dumbass little 8-year-old gonna try to do? He's gonna try to take the remote out of the hand of my grandfather and change it to something cool. Like, I don't know, Out of the Box was the thing. That's So Raven was... You remember That's So Raven and Out of the Box? Remember Bear in the Big Blue House and Dexter's Laboratory? Anyway, I would just change it. I don't want to watch The People's Court. So I would try to take it out of his hand, and I would, change the channel, and he'd get up right away like, hey, put it back. I was watching that. was a time few years later. I was like 11 or 12 and came home from school, and my grandpa was home. My grandpa worked the 4 a.m. to 12 p.m. shift, so he was always home when I got home from school. And I remember, I was just remember thinking that, I love this guy. He's like the greatest guy ever. Gets me food, takes care of me, always makes sure that I'm okay. And I remember telling him, Grandpa, you know what? You're old. Why don't you just retire? Why don't you just retire? I want to see you like every day. I don't ever want you to go back to work. And I remember he said, do you want to eat tomorrow? I said, what? He's like, you want to eat tomorrow? I said, yeah, of course. Yeah, sure. Yeah, I want to eat tomorrow. He's like, then I gotta fucking work, fool. And, I had no idea what that meant. Had no clue what that meant. No idea. But I remember I started understanding what that meant when I got my first job. Remember, I was at work, I was on my lunch hour, and I wanted to go get something to eat, and I was like, oh shit, I don't have any money. I have to go home. But I definitely have to go back to work because I one day want to get whatever I want from Carl's Jr. And, little things like that. Little things like that is what made my grandpa the best. Went to work every day so that I can do what I do today. Yeah. And, he was the best, man. He was the greatest. I remember, it was a few years ago. I was like 18 or 19 years old, and I was kind of going through a tough time. You know how those stupid depression days? I don't even think you would call it a depression. I don't know if I was like growing up. I'm still growing up. I don't know what the phase is, but you're 18 or 19 years old, and you don't know who you are. You don't know what you want to do with your life. Your girlfriend broke up with you, right? You remember that. You didn't have a job, right? You remember that. You were doing horrible in your stupid community college classes, and you were just lost, right? You don't know what to do. So I remember telling everything to my grandfather. I just remember saying pretty much all this stuff, like, hey, Grandpa, my ex-girlfriend broke up with me. I didn't make the college baseball team. I don't have a job, and I just feel sick. I feel really sad. I feel really depressed. And when a person is going through a tough little depressed phase like that, which is really retarded, but everybody goes through it. You just go through this little sickness, and you're kind of hoping for something inspirational from your grandpa. You're kind of expecting him to say something happy and something something nice and inspirational. But my grandpa put his arm around me and said, what are you gonna do? Oh man, it's like I was just expecting way more than that, Just put his arm around me and said, what are you gonna do? You can't do nothing about it. Completely helpless. But it toughened me up a little bit, and yeah. I don't know. I don't know if this is going to be a good episode for the podcast. The good news is I didn't get emotional like I thought I was going to. Just kind of told some good stories, and I just want to give a shout out, a little birthday shout out to my dad and my uncle. Happy birthday, you guys! I love you, and I love you, Grandpa, and I know that you're looking down on me. miss you a lot. I wish that you were here, and I know that you're here spiritually, and yeah. I love you, Grandpa. I'll okay. I love you, Grandpa.
Savannah Sue, give me a call when you're here. There's your grandfather. I'm just trying to ask to see if you guys want something to eat. If you don't answer by the time we get to your house, we're going to be empty-handed. I love you. Bye.